Hey everyone, it's your boy Dream. We're back again with another collection video. This is the first one in almost 2 years. Back when I made that last one, I said I probably wasn't going to have one for a while. And I was right. It probably would have taken longer if I, hadn't moved across the country to work for the Manga Tube Studios in Ontario. But here we are. You guys know the drill at this point. This one's not going to be as, crazy retrospective as my last one. But we'll be going over all the stuff. Some of it is new. A lot of it from last time is gone. But yeah, it's mainly just to show off what the current setup is. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, let's get to it. All right, starting off here, I have somehow managed to alphabetize all of my normal size singles. This is the highest level of organization you will see from me, and I guarantee it will not last the full video. Astra is a fantastic science fiction series, very accessible at only 5 volumes. It's fun, it has great mystery. Of course, it inspired the hit video game Among Us. So if you like that, sussy, baka, imposter type shit, then yeah. Go for it. Attack on Titan. Here we have the full, complete, entire series. This is really, really bittersweet, man. If you're new here, this was the first manga I ever collected back in July 2014. And ever since then, I have been keeping up with it, and now here we are at the final volume. 34. I won't show the others I recently got because those covers are, fucking evil. And I've already had people message me like, yo, what the fuck, I was in Barnes & Noble and I just saw you. Anyway, here we go. Volume 34. It's a thick boy. It's a big one. And it's, also not very good. But, as a wise frog and bear once said, getting there is half the fun. And Attack on Titan was a pretty fun time. Despite some of my problems with the ending, I still think it is through and through a really, really great series that you can't really go wrong with. There's a million ways to read this thing now. And yeah, it's definitely a staple of the collection here. Next up, we have Bakuman. This came from the box set, along with we have other number 11 here. And as you can see, oh baby, we got my sexy health card bookmark there because I, for the first time in 6 years, am rereading Bakuman. Yes, this is a big goal I had for the end of the year, to reread a bunch of things that I had not checked out in a while just to see if my opinions hold up on them. And for Bakuman, they absolutely do not. Oh my god. This is, yeah, not as good as I remember. Not in the slightest. But you'll have to wait on my review for more on that. Next up is Chainsaw Man. Absolutely fantastic series. Part 1 ended almost a year ago now. I know Fujimoto's been busy doing some really crazy one-shots and stuff. But I'm also really looking forward to when he decides to return to it. Anyway, we have the first 2 volumes here. Of course, the past year during the pandemic, I had not been collecting much new manga, which is why I didn't get any more Chainsaw Man. I definitely still intend to, and I actually wanted to get a lot more before this video, but of course we are in the midst of a bit of a, drought in the industry, where, the popularity of manga in the West is skyrocketing, but also with COVID and all these shitty situations, Viz has not really been able to keep up with the demand. So most of their popular series are currently out of stock. And Chainsaw Man is one of their most popular, and it's very, very difficult to find the middle volumes here. You can still get the brand new ones pretty easily, but shit like 3, 4, 5, it's like missing. So I'm not quite sure what to do. I think when it comes to series like this, and Kaguya, which we'll talk about in a second, I think I might just start picking up the new volumes as they come out and then worry about filling it up later, because I feel like if I wait on the newer ones, then I'll also miss my chance to get those. But yeah, if you're a fan of action, of comedy, of stories that go way deeper than they have any right to, Chainsaw Man is one of the absolute best. Dr. Stone is another series that Base Senpai recommended to me. He's a huge fan of it. He thought I'd really like it, and I do like it quite a bit. Very inventive story with fun characters, great art, when you're not looking at the females. I'm caught up to most of it. I haven't read the new arc yet, and I think it has some low points. I think it has some high points. Not one of my favorites, but still pretty enjoyable. I don't actually think I'm going to be collecting anymore. I'm probably going to sell it because I don't like it that much. As you know, I tend to not keep series unless I'm like super passionate about them. So for example, this fucker's done for soon. But yeah, I still think this is a good series and I'm excited to see how it ends. Here we have, of course, Kaguya, my favorite manga of all time, Bammo. And goddamn, I wish I had more of it. But again, it's like Chainsaw Man, where a lot of these volumes are really hard to come by. And it is one I think I'm going to start just buying the new volumes as they come out, and deal with the rest of it later. But yeah, fucking love this series, man. It's I don't know. Everything from the characters to the comedy, the drama, how it's almost 250 chapters now. It's almost ending, but they're still keeping things super fresh. I just can't get enough of it, man. I'm going to be really, really sad when this one goes, but it's definitely an all-time great, and I'm looking forward to eventually owning it all. Here's Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, forever stuck at volume 30. I haven't actually looked at to see if some of the rest of these volumes are hard to get. Now, probably not, because Magi isn't like super hot right now. But another one of my favorite action series, super inventive, super fun and creative. I think it's super underrated in this day and age, because I definitely think it deserves to be, you know, up there with the greats of the genre. It does go up to volume 37. I'm just, you know, it's been so long since the series ended. I'm just not really motivated to pick up the rest right now. I think eventually I'll want to reread Magi, and that's when I'll probably get the 7 missing volumes here. But yeah, definitely something I highly recommend if you're a fan of battle manga, you're looking for something new to check out. This should definitely be on your radar. I'll talk about you in a sec, but we gotta go down here first, because we have Hellsing, the deluxe editions. Now, I read and reviewed this recently, so I don't have much to say other than, what the fuck, Dark Horse? So these are probably the nicest volumes in my collection, no joke, like the quality here is sublime. And Dark Horse, you know, they did the cool thing. They had, you know, Berserk and Blade of the Immortal, some of their best series, also treated with these editions, but Hellsing is not one of those. Hellsing is a very, very okay manga. I don't know, it kind of just makes me sick that they thought this was worthy of the deluxe editions. And I didn't buy these myself, they were all a gift, which I did really appreciate, but I'm just not too crazy about the series, so I'm definitely going to be selling these. Yeah, they're nice and all, but well, what can you do? Ooh, let's peep these posters here. We got some Bloodborne stuff, we got the Zelda one, oh there I am, hi. And we got a Sekiro up here, pretty cool. My Hero Academia, I believe I am up to date now with volume 29. And yeah, I am still a pretty big fan of this series. I think Horikoshi is doing some really crazy shit in the newer content that's really keeping things fresh and interesting. I don't think this is like, you know, the greatest blow your mind action series you'll ever read, but I have a lot of fun with it. I have been a bit disappointed with the anime recently. Of course, you know, season 5 took some liberties, changing things around, adding some filler, wasn't too big on it, and they're still like bogging themselves down with those shitty movies. I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of wasted potential with that production here, but it is what it is. I still think it does have one of the better adaptations, you know, compared to its contemporaries. We have Watamote. Man, oh, this is one I really got to get more of. Like, I haven't looked to see how hard these are to find, but yeah, I've been sitting on these volumes forever, and last year I actually finally went through and read all that was out, and man, this series is really good. It surprised me quite a bit. It's just so overlooked because so many people know of it from the anime, which was like the first like 4 volumes or some shit, where it's, you know, this very standard girl with anxiety gets into silly scenarios formula, but as it keeps going and it really starts to evolve into this really, really fantastic coming of age story, I think a lot of people miss out on something they could really be loving. And it's not for everyone. The humor is very, very dark, to the point where I'm pretty sure Tomoko is like a psychopath, but it's a good one. And I cannot wait to continue keeping up with it. It's been going for 10 years, man. 10. Noragami. Here's one I have a little bit more of. Volume 4 and 5 are new, I believe. Yes, I finally got around to checking this out last year, and I was really, really impressed with the first 3 volumes. I honestly really love them, so I definitely want to check out the rest of the series. I got a bit more. Of course, a lot of them are very hard to... Oh, hi, Pinky. What are you doing in the frame? Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, let it be known it may take a while, but it's definitely on my radar, and I'm excited to read more. Now, of course, the biggest change from last time is I no longer own One Piece. I sold the whole thing. Nothing really against the series. I still really like it, and I'm still enjoying it quite a bit. But, you know, I was like several volumes behind. It took up so much space. I was moving, you know, just, you know, whatever. But I still kept this as, you know, a memento. This was from the first box set, the original pilot chapter of One Piece. Just a cool little reminder, proof that I'm, you know, still a better fan than most people. Absolutely cannot wait for the Netflix live action edition. Fuck yeah. One Punch Man, 1 through 15. I've read up through 16. 16 in particular, probably my favorite volume of the series. I should really at least get a hold of that. But yeah, I like One Punch Man quite a bit. Really, really fun series. But the star of the show really is Yusuke Murata's art, which I think honestly is some of the best manga art ever, at least with stuff coming out now. It's truly incredible. It helps that, you know, he has a different schedule and he can spend more time on the chapters, but still, man, god damn. And I think I might actually like reading this digital a bit more, just because reading in the volumes can sometimes, you know, take away the impact of some of the spreads. Which might be a hot take, whatever, who cares, fuck you. So this is where all the magic happens. This here is my office. We got a nice professional desk set up right here. This chair is where all the editors from Japan come whenever they want me to review a series. Because, you know, when I talk about the client series, sales usually skyrocket. Most of the stuff they bring me, though, is kind of garbage. That's why you never hear about it. But anyway, yeah, my next meeting's tomorrow. They're bringing that Ayashimon series to me. We'll see how that goes. We got my Stardew Valley farm right here. We got a bit of light reading. Here's the studio where all the magic happens, where I draw my silly little cartoons. I watch all of my Sonic content here on this fabulous 2015 MacBook Pro. This drive here, this is where all my legacy content is stored. It's very important that I never lose my hours of fairy tale content. So when I'm done with this video, I'll of course lock it away in the safe, which is where I keep all of the restricted manga. Got a One Punch Man poster here. Honestly, not a fan of this. Not a fan of how this looks. I just had it. I threw it up on the wall. I'll probably replace it. We got Haley over there. Love her. Got some maps up here. This is a real photo of Godzilla in my hometown that I took with me. Yeah, here's Spelunky. Love that game. Here's the Dark Tower. Oh, I can't forget about the dehumidifier. It's off right now because, you know, I'm making a video. But it really, really helped stop my manga from sweating. I know that's a huge problem from a lot of people, but this sucks the moisture right out of them. Really, really highly recommend. Parasite, another classic I absolutely love. A great blend of body horror, mystery, action. It has it all. It's super short and accessible. Love it, love it, love it. Soul Eater. Whew. So I said I would make a Soul Eater video, and I never made one. Sorry about that, but I did reread it recently. And I still really love Soul Eater. It has one of my favorite art styles in manga. The characters are great. The story is so unique and inventive. I love the world. On my reread, I wasn't actually as big a fan of the final arc as I used to be. I did have some problems with it. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have the drive to make a new video on it because, yeah, everyone knows how much I love it. I don't really have much new to say. We got Splatoon here. This is actually the first collection video I've made since I've actually read the Splatoon manga. But, like, I mean, of course it was a masterpiece. I don't have much to say there. Spy Family, another one I'd like to be up to date on, but they are kind of hard to track down. I was able to get 4 at least. But yeah, this is one of the best new series out there. It got an anime announcement recently, which was obviously coming, but it looks like it's going to be amazing. Collaboration between Cloverworks and Wit. The trailer we got looks fantastic. It's already a massive series, but it's about to be even bigger, so definitely jump on that. Golden Kamui, we have 1 through 3 here. I love this series. Now, I haven't read all that much. I mean, relatively, I've read about 100 chapters, but it was super, super good. I love the historical setting, the characters, really interesting mystery, and it's ending soon, so I definitely plan to, you know, catch up and read it all. I don't know if I'll collect it all, though, because, you know, it's one of those series that's super long at this point, and, you know, I can just read it all on the Shonen Jump app, so I'm not, like, too worried about it. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best action-adventure series you can be reading right now. Highly recommend. Right, here we have a lot of my manga hardcovers, starting with Vinland Saga. This, of course, was my favorite manga for the longest time before Kaguya came along, but I still really, really love Vinland Saga. And of course, we have these iconic 2-in-1 hardcovers from Kodansha. Not always a fan of the quality of Kodansha stuff, but they really splurged on Vinland Saga, and I appreciate it. Of course, book 12 is finally about to come out. It's crazy that it took so long. I know it was delayed for a bit, and it's crazy to think that a whole ass global pandemic happened between books 11 and 12. But I'm still very glad that the series is doing well. They're continuing to release it. You know, the releases are slow, which is why it takes so long, but, you know, they're still committed to it. And of course, we are getting a season 2 of the anime soon, which is going to cover my favorite arc in all of manga. I am beyond thrilled, excited for that. Also, I don't think I've showed this off before, but here we have a staff book that has a bunch of drawings from the staff. I actually won this in a contest. It's really, really cool, and this is definitely a highlight of my collection here. This is some cool ass shit. Look at that, man. We have the first Fullmetal Alchemist hardcover here. I'll talk about the series when I show off my singles. These are cool, but like I said, I own all the singles. I'm not really interested in getting all the hardcovers. My Junji Ito stuff, of course, he's quickly become one of the most popular manga artists in the West, which is interesting because his stuff is so unique and out there. But I do think his stuff is really cool, especially as a fan of horror. I have to say, I'm not like the biggest fan ever of short stories, so so a lot of them I'm just like, oh, this is a cool idea, and then move on or whatever. But I definitely appreciate his work, especially Uzumaki, which I just thought was so brilliant and disturbing. Can't wait for the anime on that one. Ping Pong, this is a fantastic sports series, and it's super short too. It has a very unique art style and story. The characters are just great. There's really nothing bad to say about this one. This is a fucking must read. Here's my Tezuka stuff now. This might piss some people off. This stuff right here is like the only manga in my collection that I have yet to read, and I've owned it for a while. But yeah, because it is like the last thing I have, I'm pretty confident I'm gonna read Buddha this year. Obviously don't have all the volumes. I'll figure something out. Blackjack, I don't know. It would be cool to check out, but like I said, it's a lot harder to find these volumes, and also the series is so long, and I don't know if I'd really be interested in an episodic series like this. But yeah, whatever. I'm still excited to check out Buddha when it eventually does happen. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I have read all of Phoenix though. I think it's fucking brilliant. All the stories except for Civil War are really amazing. The past stories are a really interesting take on our history and events that happened during them, and the future stuff is so cool. Really high concept, inventive stuff. It's just wonderful, man. I really hope this gets a reprint at some point, even if it means these, aren't worth like $500 anymore. Fruits Basket, we have the first 3-in-1s here. I love Fruits Basket. I've only read these when it comes to the manga, but I have seen the entire new anime series that covered the whole thing. It's so good, man. I know it's really popular for a shoujo series, but I think a lot of people are missing out if you're not usually into this type of story. I definitely think you should give it at least a try. On the surface level, it is a romantic slice of life comedy, but it's so much deeper than that. There's a lot of great tragedy and drama here. It's just us. I don't know if I'm going to collect the rest of it, but it's definitely a highlight here. Neon Genesis Evangelion. So this is another series that I plan on revisiting very soon, because like Bakuman up there, it has been a very long time since I've read it, and I don't really remember much about it. Same can be said for the anime. What I actually kind of want to do is rewatch the anime, reread the manga, and then maybe check out the Rebuild films too, which I've never seen, because I kind of just want to compare it all, see how it all works, see how it holds up. So yeah, that's something you could probably look forward to, if not by the end of the year, then early next year. Here's my Inio Asano stuff. We got Solanin, which is a really great 2-volume series, and of course Goodnight Pun Pun, which remains one of my favorites, just one of the most dark and tragic series I've ever read. It still kind of disturbs me to think about some of the things that happen in this one, but it's also a really fascinating story about life, and yeah, it's good. Asano's other series, Dead Demons, whatever, that's coming to an end really soon, and I'm very interested in checking that one out. So I think when that ends, that'll be a priority for me, at least to read, if not to collect all the volumes. All You Need Is Kill is an adaptation of a light novel, and of course, I think manga adaptations of light novel are, Satan's work. But I do remember enjoying this one, and that is why it is something else I will be rereading. Might even give the Tom Cruise movie a rewatch too, and then I can compare them both. That sounds cool. And then Planet Test, of course, Yukimura's other series, and yet another series that I plan to reread soon. I remember absolutely loving this, and I'm sure I still will, but it's just been a really long time, so I want to check this out again. So here we are on the floor. As you can tell, I am kind of running out of space already. I just moved here. We just installed all these shelves like a few weeks ago. I'm pretty sure something's going right here. Whether it be just normal shelves like these or a new bookcase. We'll get that set up eventually. That's where everything else will eventually go. Yeah, here we have my Nausicaa hardcover set. Love this series. Love this release. One of Viz's nicest releases ever. Of course, Hayao Miyazaki, the legend. Absolutely incredible stuff. Then we also have Akira, the whole hardcover set. I'd like to put these on display, but I don't have much room right now, and it's just more convenient to keep them in this cool box. But yeah, also love Akira. Also one of this publisher's best releases. Reading these series on the bigger pages really makes a difference, man. It's really phenomenal stuff. So here's Bleach. Yes, I still do own the first 21 volumes of Bleach. I owned up through 48, but fuck them. Of course, most of you know I have a complicated history with Bleach. I still do really love this section of the story. Anything after that, and especially after volume 48, can honestly get hit by a truck, but I still do have a soft spot for this era of Bleach, and I think it is a really great time if you're looking for a fun battle manga. And here, of course, Full Metal Alchemist. Ideally I wouldn't like to keep these in the boxes, but for now it's just the most convenient. I don't have much to say about this one. Everyone's read it or seen the anime. Just one of the greatest of all time, man. Arakawa's work here, just the world, the characters, the story, the creativity, it's almost unmatched. And I'm very, very excited for her new action series to start. Tampering my expectations, of course, because, you know, it likely won't reach the heights of Full Metal Alchemist, but, you know, if it did, that would be, that would be something else. Holy shit, man. We have Tokyo Ghoul, the original series. I can't remember if I still owned Tokyo Ghoul in the last video I made, but I don't anymore because it's kind of stinky poop sauce. But I still do really love the original series. There's just something so engaging about that story and the world. You know, it's a shame it became a bit of a mess in the sequel, but I know a lot of people still like it, so I still highly recommend checking out the manga and its sequel just in case, I suppose. Here's Death Note. I mean, like, honestly, I like Death Note. It's a cool series and all. But I'm kind of just like having a personal beef with Sugumi Oba right now, with me not enjoying Bakuman as much as I remember, and of course the whole Platinum End shit. I'm just kind of... I also own it twice. Why do I own it twice, man? I might end up selling the black editions at some point. And there is Orange. That is another series that I would like to reread very soon, because when I first read this, I absolutely loved it. I don't really know if I'd love it as much now, but yeah, so we'll give that one another go relatively soon. You have a bunch of random shit here. You know, you're not a true collector if you don't have a bunch of random shit in your collection. I should put more respect on the Lorax's name. That does not deserve to be in the pile there. Nice, yeah, there we go. I like that, like how that looks. Yeah, not much stuff here. There's shit like I've had for years that I just can't sell. No one wants to read a Full Metal Alchemist novel. Like, come on. New Moon here is great, and check this out. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's fucking hot. Riverdale. Season 6, man. It's a banger. They're finally introducing magic to the world. It's great. Oh god, want to see something embarrassing? Holy fucking shit. This is ancient, man. I was a huge Wimpy Kid fan. Oh god, I drew a fucking shitty stop motion cartoon here. What is this? I must have been like 10 here, but look at how creative I was, man. This is God, I had my own fucking Wimpy Kid journal. This might be too much for me. I might have to burn this afterwards. Holy shit. I shouldn't have looked at this. That was nightmare fuel. We have our smut here. A bunch of volumes that, you know, I've been trying to sell. No one wants them. Act Age. Now, I said when, you know, that whole shit went down with, you know, the writer being a pedophile, I said I was never going to talk about this again, and that's why I never showed off this volume when I got it. But now that they've removed the manga from any place and you can't really support it legally anymore, I don't really care. I still loved the series from what I had read, and I still think that Usazaki, the artist, deserves a lot of support, and I really hope she gets a new series soon. But yeah, the author diddled some kids, so fuck them. Mob Psycho here, love this series. So fucking excited that the third season was announced. But the manga's long, it's expensive, Dark Horse is releasing them very slowly. I don't really care to collect the rest, at least not right now. I am kind of interested in getting the second Mountains of Madness. I have read a few Lovecraft stories, and I like them quite a bit. Besides, you know, like the hilariously blatant white supremacy and whatever, but you know. But yeah, this Mountains of Madness adaptation does look really cool, and I'm interested in reading it. I'm a Hero. I liked what I read, but I don't know. It's long. A lot of people tell me it gets bad eventually. So yeah. Made in Abyss. Now this is a series I really liked from what I read a few years ago. Definitely has some, you know, suspicious content in it. And I have heard that it does get quite a bit worse after the stuff that I've read. And for that reason, I'm not super eager to get into it again. I'm sure I will read it again at some point, maybe when it's close to ending. But for right now, we're just going to put it here and we're gonna see what happens, I guess. Flowers of Evil. This is one of my favorite series. I really need to work on getting the rest of these at some point. There's only 4 of these complete editions. And the series is just wild and fantastic, and I think it's great. Distant Neighborhood. It was a gift from Apollo, remember that? And the spine is, of course, printed the wrong way, so the book is upside down. I don't know. I know this guy has some pretty acclaimed work, but I wasn't too big on this one. I thought it was a little bit cringe. If Apollo wants to send me more free manga, he can be my guest, though. Here are some, you know, some real comic books. This is what I'm talking about. Bone was a pretty big staple of my childhood. I don't have them all right now, but I do want to reread it at some point just to see how it holds up. I think this one here is a novel. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Watchmen, absolute classic. I actually got some HBO stuff recently, like the Canada version, so I'm interested in checking out the TV series to see how they did that. Yeah, and here we got got some Snot Girl. I think the third one's been out for a while. I should hop on that because I do really like Snot Girl. And The Walking Dead, which I like what I've read. Not like huge fan of it or whatever, but you know, it's cool. And up here we have Berserk, volumes 1 through 38. Of course, it's been a bit of a bittersweet year for Berserk because, of course, Kentaro Miura, the legendary mangaka, passed away, leaving the series incomplete, which is still such a horrible tragedy. But I did reread the entire series this year, of course, and I caught up to it because before I had never read some of the newer stuff. And man, the new stuff I read was honestly probably my favorite part of Berserk. So yeah, I really gained a newfound appreciation for this series. I still don't think it's as good as some people do, but it's still pretty goddamn good. There's going to be 41 volumes total, so eventually I think when that 41st one comes out in English, I will get the final 3 I'm missing. Not only to, you know, show support for the series, but also those 3 final volumes were fucking incredible. So yeah, I mean, it's really sad what happened, but I guess the best we can do is just enjoy what we have, and for that I am very grateful. It's intermission time, you know how it is. I'm going to talk about my games and novels here. If you're only interested in manga, you can skip ahead. If you do that though, you're kind of an idiot. I don't really know what's wrong with you there, but anyway, here we go. Here's all my PS4 stuff. Quite the collection after so many years. I don't have a PS5 yet. I kind of want one, but you know how it is.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Bloodborne's probably my favorite game on the system, followed by Sekiro. Yeah, most of these games are great. Some of them maybe not, but you know, cool shit. Here's my Switch stuff. Now, in comparison, I don't really have all that many games on my Switch, but the ones I do have, I play the shit out of, man. Like, there are some real bangers there, and I enjoy it quite a bit. Up here we have my retro titles, of course, with the Wii. The new one here being Beastly. That was, if I'm being honest, probably the worst game I've ever played. And up here we have my Vita stuff, my Wii U stuff, the DS and 3DS stuff. These the Final Fantasy remakes being new. I played these not too long ago actually, and 3 was kind of lame. Before was really good. Really impressed me for such an old game. And my PS3 games, I actually have a few new ones. Of course, Demon Souls, which I've only played a little bit about, had a bit of Souls burnout, so I'll get back to that one before Elden Ring. But I actually got all of the Resistance and Killzone games, because out of like all the PS3 games I played before, these were always the 2 franchises that I was always interested in, but never actually gave a shot. So I found a bunch of them for super cheap, so I'm like, hey, yeah, why not? I'll get into those eventually. And yeah, some old shitty GameCube stuff there too, except for LEGO Star Wars. That's amazing. Over here, of course, this is where all my box sets are. There's the One Piece one there, just further proof that I used to own it. And here I have some hardcovers. We have Song of Ice and Fire. Love this series. Don't know if it'll ever end, but you know how it is. Some Lovecraft stuff. We have the start of my Stephen King stuff here with some hardcovers. Insomnia and Black House. These are first editions, which are really cool. Then we have 11/22/63, and starting with Carrie, we have all of my Stephen King paperbacks in the order of publication, with the newest one I own being later. And then, of course, we have the Dark Tower series, which I love. The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings here. I really need to get a new version of The Hobbit instead of this shitty movie one. I was like, what the fuck, man? And The Wheel of Time, which I actually have the first one out here, because look at that, I've actually started it. Oh my god. Yeah, with the show coming out, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's time. I really gotta get into this now. And I also picked up the 3rd book. But of course, when I finally decide to get into the series for real, they changed the fucking logo. But I'm really liking it so far. It's pretty cool. Down here we have a bunch of other fantasy series, none of which I've actually read yet. Hear great things about all of them. I have read some of Sanderson's other works, and of course, I know he worked on The Wheel of Time, so I'm really excited to read Mistborn, and I've heard some fantastic things about these ones too. It's just my backlog is so big, I don't know exactly when I'll get around to them, but they're on the shelf, so I will eventually. Recently, I actually got the original Percy Jackson series. This one was massive when I was a kid. I remember being so fucking excited for The Last Olympian. Like, oh my god, man. These were the days, but it's been like over a decade now since I've actually read it. I've lost my original copies at some point. So with how cheap I was able to get all of these, I thought it would be kind of interesting to give it another shot, see how it holds up now that I'm an adult. I'm not sure if it will, but I am sure of one thing, and that is Percy Jackson will always be better than Harry Potter. Then just a bunch of, you know, whatever else we got here. Some more Brian Lee O'Malley stuff. We have Seconds, which is great. Scott Scott Pilgrim, the full color editions, which I fucking love. I did the manga thing. Fucking love this series. Always going to be one of my favorites. And here we are back to the last of the manga shelves with all of my Urasawa stuff. All really nicely on this one shelf. It's sad that it probably won't last long. But yeah, here's Monster, one of my all-time favorites. You might get tired of hearing that. Brilliant mystery series, super thrilling, tons of twists. I love everything about it. Pluto, another one of my favorites from Urasawa. Very interesting retelling of an Astro Boy arc that has a completely new spin on it. God, fuck, I hope the anime is out by the time I make my next collection video. And then 20th Century Boys, which I finally this year I read and I recently reviewed it. Huge, massive story with just so much going on, but I really enjoyed it all for the most part. Not my favorite of Urasawa's, but definitely worthy of being displayed with these guys. And then here we have his newest series, Asadora, which is currently ongoing and being released in English. I've not checked it out yet, but I'm very much looking forward to it, because, you know, the dude makes some good stuff. And coming down here, we of course have Vagabond and Blade of the Immortal. Two of some of the most popular samurai manga out there, and two of my absolute favorite series ever, especially Blade of the Immortal. The more time passes, the more I consider this to probably be my favorite action series ever. This is absolutely stunning. Not to take away from Vagabond, though. This is an absolute masterwork. I read this all this past summer, along with the Musashi novel that it's based on. Such a fantastic story. Inoue hasn't finished adapting the novel, and I don't know if he ever will, but what we have gotten so far is truly phenomenal. Now, Blade of the Immortal, of course, like I mentioned earlier, it's currently getting these really amazing hardcover releases from Dark Horse. Right before that, though, they released these omnibuses. And while they aren't really as good as the deluxe editions, I still think they're really great. But yeah, really fantastic. Absolutely a series worth owning. And with that, I think we've seen it all. Yeah, it's really nice, you know, just having everything all in one room. I think for the first time ever, at least the first time in a very long time. Yeah, let's go back to my face. Thank you all so much for watching. You can give your thoughts on the collection in the comments down below. If you want to, on Discord or Twitter, you can DM me a picture of your own collection for something I'm planning to do in the future. Ooh. I'll remind people about that later in case they missed this. They better not, though. People wouldn't click off of a collection video before the outro. Anyway, with that, I will see you guys all soon. I don't know what we're doing next. Cowboy Bebop is out on Netflix. I gotta go check that out. I'm kidding. Kill me.